Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands. Blood on your hands.
I have seen some negative impacts with my students. Some of them are seeing some things and talking about some things that I wouldn't expect fourth graders to know about at all.
I think social media can have both positive and negative impact on young minds. I think it's, in terms of the positives, it's a wonderful opportunity to build communication, to learn about other people, and also to tap into creative energies. The negative aspects of social media that I've seen, especially as a principal and in my former role as a school counselor, has been, cyberbullying that occurs.
We as a society need to have a healthy relationship with technology. So in one hand, social media gives us access to so many different variety of educations and platforms, and so we can learn a lot from social media. But what it has really turned into is it has become a job for teenagers to manage.
Every year, about 4,500 kids take their own lives due to cyberbullying. Imagine being blackmailed, bullied, harassed, and called names every single day on social media to the point that you want to take your own life. Just think about how many lives we could save if we could help educate our community about this important topic.
Mallory loved crafts, anything that had to do with sewing or making things. She loved to work with fabrics. She loved to make bracelets. She was extremely crafty, and she was an athlete. She loved to run and climb and be outside. She had a pretty difficult time at school. She was excluded regularly. She was made fun of regularly. There were small acts of violence, and I use that word purposefully because pulling someone's hair is violence. It may not seem like a big deal, and it may just seem like a nuisance, but imagine if someone pulled your hair behind your desk every single day. It becomes death by 1,000 cuts.
What was Mallory's reaction to the bullying?
Depression. That's the best way I know how to describe it. When she had a bad day at school, which was pretty regularly, she would come home with stomach aches, headaches. She was agitated and angry a lot of times.
I know this could be difficult, but could you walk us through the day that Mallory took her life?
It was a normal but not so normal day. She had had a really bad day at school that day, and she had called me that afternoon and said, "Mom, I had a really bad day at school." We had a 3-hour meeting at the school with the principal. I was yesed to death. A big portion of the burden was put on Mallory. There was no conversation about the bullies changing their behavior. It was all about what Mallory could do to make her life better. So on the ride home, she kept saying to me over and over and over, "You just made it worse. You don't know these girls. What you just did made it worse." I didn't listen to her. I didn't listen. I never asked Mallory, "What would you like for me to do?" I just took ownership over it, like most moms and dads and parents and guardians do. They oftentimes think that what they're doing is the best scenario. And I regretfully never asked her, "What would you like for Mom to do?" I brought her home. I made her favorite SpaghettiOs. I curled up with her. I gave her a false sense of hope. I told her that everything was going to be okay, not to worry about those girls. I gave her permission not to go back to school. My daughter Carly and I had tickets to go see a show in New York City on Broadway as her 9th grade, kind of like end of the year present. So from that point, it was pretty normal evening for us. And then I got the call from Seth that she had hurt herself. He said the paramedics are working on her now. And I still didn't get it. I had a 2-hour ride from New York City back to Jersey. And I still thought, what is he talking about? It wasn't until I got to the hospital, because obviously he wouldn't tell me on the cell phone that she had, that she didn't make it. So when I got to the hospital, I learned that she was gone.
They're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
And are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
The primary responsibility of the school is to just ensure that we're promoting a safe and respectful online environment for our students.
I do think any minor should have to have a parent come on and consent to their child being on social media, because then it kind of is helping to ensure that a parent hopefully is monitoring what a child is doing.
I think for parents, by allowing our children to have nonstop access to the world, in exchange for that, we're giving the world access to our children. And we've never been in a place in our generation as parents to do that.
What's needed now is legislative reform, the Kids Online Safety Act. Senator Blackburn and I have enlisted more than 45 of our colleagues, almost half the United States Senate, in favor of the Kids Online Safety Act.
The greatest gift that you can give yourself is to just disconnect. It's really important to shut down, unplug, reboot, just take a break from any technology. That goes for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. Just if I could ask for one thing, turn it off, take a break from it, put it down, right? Like go Friday afternoon till Sunday, just like if you couldn't go to the video arcade or you couldn't go to the ball game. Like, I wish it had an off switch. I wish that we could take a break from it.